up, guys? Welcome to the Get Lean series. In this series, I'm gonna show you guys a quick 10-minute meal that I like to make when I'm on a diet, and it'll only take 10 minutes if you have the right preparation. So this is my recipe for a high protein kimchi rice. And one of the pitfalls that brought me down from my diets before is I'll wait till I'm hungry until I decide what to eat. And then when you're hungry, or even worse, hangry, you become very impulsive and you don't have your eye on the prize and you go make a stupid decision. So what I like to do is make food in bulk. So I already have it ready, and anytime I'm hungry, I can go boom, grab it and just put it in my mouth and then go, calm myself down, you know? So this high protein kimchi fried rice is actually extremely delicious, and the macros are insane. It's 60 grams of protein with only 11 grams of fat and 40 grams of carbs. So even if your calories are freaking nutsos at like 1,500 calories, you can still fit a couple of these bad boys in. So here are some of the things that you're gonna need in no particular order. I got 2 eggs, can't have too much because the yolk is fatty. Got some chopped up green onions, minced garlic, chopped up ham. Got 2 pounds of chicken breast. Got some random seasonings like white pepper, garlic salt, ginger paste. I usually like furikake. It's like a Japanese sesame seasoning, but I couldn't find it, so I'm gonna use this everything but the bagel sesame, and it's also 0 grams of fat, so that always helps out. I already made 4 cups of cooked rice. This is the confusing thing if you guys are new to cooking for a diet. You wanna weigh rice cooked, and you wanna weigh meat uncooked. Remember that, okay? Which is why this rice is already cooked. It's 4 cups of cooked rice, 2 pounds of raw chicken breast, got a bunch of chopped kimchi, and then sesame oil. You can't go crazy on this. I'm only gonna use 1 tablespoon. In 1 tablespoon, you have 14 grams of fat. So that's already a lot, you know? But then if I divide it, and like all this food here is gonna make 4 portions. When I divide that by 4, each one of them gets like 3.5 grams of fat. So you don't wanna go crazy, and you wanna make sure you measure this bad boy. So the first thing I'm gonna do is season the chicken, and I got some ginger paste. You don't gotta do too much. A lot of the flavor is gonna come from the kimchi. Get some garlic salt action up on here. Might have run out, dude. Cool. Back to the scheduled programming. So, some salt on this baby. A little bit of garlic up on here. You can never have too much garlic, you know what I'm talking about. A little white pepper action. What I like about white pepper is that it's very subtle. So unlike black pepper, where if you put too much, it could take over the dish, white pepper doesn't really do that. So now just mix it up with your hands. And you can see I cubed it up real good because I'm gonna be making 4 portions. So it's easier for me to have even portions when I cube it nice and small. And also, unfortunately, we're on a diet, right? So I'm using chicken breast, and chicken breast can come out tough and dry. So when you use smaller pieces, it's easier to swallow. Now it's time to fire up the pan. When I'm cooking on a diet, I like to use a fat-free cooking spray because we want to keep the fats as low as possible. So I try to just do a couple light coats. Make sure you spray the edges like that, because it can get stuck there. All right, you hear that sizzle? Aha, means the pan is hot, ready to go. Put that bad boy on here. Spread it out so it cooks nice and even. So the main focus here is for sure the chicken, since this is raw. The ham, since it's already cured, it's technically not raw, and you can just eat it like that, right? Like that's how we eat our sandwiches. So I put the ham in later. Now while this is simmering, it's time for me to crack the eggs. And the cool thing about cooking is the more you cook, the better your timing gets. So a dish that might take you like 20 minutes will end up taking you like 15. And then as you get better and you know how to manage your kitchen, it'll end up taking you like 10. And so with the rice, I had to prep the rice, But like, let's say you made a ton of rice for a dish the night before, what I would just do is just cook extra rice, and then that way, you don't even have to worry about the rice. Or if you had like chicken from like chicken tacos or something else before, just always get extra, and then that way you speed up your cooking time because everything is prepped already. Bam, got it nice whipped up, and I'll throw that in when it's time to go. So you could see that's starting to white at the bottom, which means one side is cooked already. That's also what helps out with cooking, is the smaller the pieces, the easier it takes to cook. So I just gotta move these around. When all of them become like almost white, I don't need it to be like fully cooked, but just when it's like a nice coat of white all around, then I'll throw my ham in. So when I'm cooking something as dry as chicken breast, to avoid it being dry at the end, I almost time the final cookedness with the end of preparing the dish. So for example, right now it's probably medium rare, and now it's already time for me to add in my ham. And what I'm trying to do is by the time I add in the rice and the egg and all the other condiments, since the chicken will stay in this pan, I'm trying to time it out where it gets fully cooked by that time to avoid it being dry. Because if you have it fully cooked now, before you add in all the other stuff, then it's gonna be so overdone, and that's how you end up with super dry chicken breast. I mean, it's just, chicken breast is naturally dry, so it's hard to go around it, but with these little techniques, you can make yucky food taste a little bit yummier. Now that I got all this good stuff going on, time to add garlic. And like I said, you can never have too much garlic. So I'll probably put 2 big tablespoons in here. Man, it smells so good. Mix it all up in here. You might be wondering how come I didn't just throw the garlic in with the rub. From my experience, the heat that you need to cook chicken will brown the garlic. So if you throw it in at the same time, your garlic will end up turning brown and maybe even black, and it'll kind of stain the chicken and make it look like way overcooked than it actually is. I don't know why that is, but it just happens with like diced garlic like that. So that's why I'm throwing it in now. It smells good. Now it's time to throw in the kimchi. And the reason why I was like thinking about it is throwing in the kimchi I like right now because I like flavoring the protein as evenly as possible. Because ultimately when you throw in the rice, all you're doing is just re-cooking it and giving it a nice little crisp. So you don't really have to flavor the rice too much as long as the protein is well flavored. So I was like, you know what? Let's throw in the kimchizzle to get it the fizzles. And this is where like the kimchi fried rice, starts to come to life. All right, time to throw in the rice. Dun, da, 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 dun, 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 dun. Once I have the rice spread out like this, before I mix it in, I like to add these ingredients. So I like to add in the egg, so it gets nicely like mixed in with the rice. And then the liquid gold. So this is a ½ tablespoon, so I can afford 2 of these guys. One on this side, and one on this side. Liquid gold, baby. And if you've ever cooked with sesame oil, the minute it hits the pan, it gets heated up. You know why it's called liquid gold. Because it smells bomb. And then, just for good measure, a little boing boing of expired soy sauce. I'm just kidding, it's not expired. Just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. So as you're cooking this, there might be some parts when you're like stirring, you're like, oh no, the rice is sticking to the pan. That's actually a good thing, because what it's doing is it's crisping up the rice, and it gives the rice a nice little texture. Unless your rice turns into a straight up pancake, it's like stuck at the bottom, and then you can smell it burning, you're fine. Other than that, like if you've ever been to like a Korean restaurant, and sometimes they'll make a kimchi fried rice right in front of you with enough fats and oils, like from the pork belly and whatever, oh man, it's sticking, and the Korean sticky rice, it creating that little crust is like everything. Now I can add in the last, final ingredient, and stuff like this really makes things go pow, pops it off. Just gives it that little extra. Cool, now, before I serve it to anybody else, I got a taste test. Very good. My nostrils are also jaded because I've been eating this, smelling these smells all day. Let me ask my competitor. Can you try this? Let me know how it is. If it needs anything. It's really good? Hell yeah. So that's it for my high protein kimchi fried rice. Remember, the macros are insane. 60 grams of protein, 11 grams of fat, 40 grams of carbs, all in here. And if like this divided in 4 is too big of meals, you could divide it into 8, and you just do the math, and that'll equate. But the main thing that I want you to keep in mind, the protein to fat ratio is almost 6 to 1. 60 grams of protein to 11 grams of fat, so it's almost 6 to 1, which is freaking awesome. So this is what one portion looks like after I divide it into 4. So as you can see, it's pretty filling. And if that's too much and you got a little tummy, then you could divide this again in half, and then that'll be 30 grams of protein with only 5.5 grams of fat and only 20 grams of carbs. So let's take a look at this. You get a little bit of everything, you know, rice, egg, ham, chicken, kimchi. So yeah, if you guys are on a diet, go ahead, try this at home. Let me know how you like it. If you're not on a diet, throw in some Spam and some sliced kielbasa sausages, you know what I'm saying? Ooh. Throw in 2 more eggs, pound on the sesame oil, and ooh la la. Have yourself a good time. Thank you guys for watching this episode, and stay tuned for episode 9.